again, everybody, and welcome to another Body and Soul Expo podcast. My name is Bruce Starr, and I'm thrilled to be able to bring to you another year, 2026, of the Body and Soul Expo to be taking place at the Palm Beach Gardens Marriott, right in Palm Beach Gardens, right off PGA, very near 95, so beautifully located. Sometimes people come in from other parts of the country, they fly in, they can fly into Palm Beach Airport. It's 15 minutes from the hotel, and it's just very convenient. There's even a pool at the hotel if you're staying over. And if you are staying over, we have some discount rates for you. Make sure you get in touch with Lorin if you are going to be staying over, even if it's just for one night. Because this time, we're doing a two-nighter. We're doing not just a Sunday like we did last time. We're doing a Saturday and a Sunday. And something else very exciting. We're having a Friday night event, a world premiere of a spirited movie similar to The Secret will be premiering right at our expo Friday night. So don't just mark down Saturday and Sunday. Think about coming out and seeing a world premiere of a secret type movie with some of the same stars, some of the same celebrities that you saw in that one. And we have a very special guest with us today. Her name is Veronica, but it's Shaman Veronica. And I'm very excited because she's a great lady. Got to know her over the last few months. And when she heard about the expo, she says, I'm in. And that's the kind of positiveness that we're looking for. So, welcome to the podcast, Veronica. Great to have you. Tell us a little bit about you. Tell us kind of where you were born and where you grew up and what kind of skills did you collect along the way?
I grew up in the Midwest. So I grew up in northern Indiana in a small town in, you know, rural Midwest, so surrounded by corn, and grew up there, mostly in the same type of, not a lot of diversity. It just instilled a lot of inquisitiveness because when you get to explore out in nature, you just kind of want to know everything. And I did grow up in a Christian community and kind of had that flavor for a while. But then I went to school, and in that school, it's actually a Christian school. They have a lot of classes associated with religious um, organizations and things like that. And so that's kind of where I really started questioning a bunch of things, as well as just like I grew up in a place where my dad loved um, ghost stories and talking to psychic mediums and like all of those like otherworldly things that maybe you don't experience if you are in a small town. And but he just loved all of that, and so we watched all that stuff all the time. Grew up watching shows like John Edward and all the ghost stories that we could get our hands on, even just read them. And so that really just kind of opened up my mind, especially after college. I think I was introduced, I don't know when I was introduced to my first Oracle deck, but that kind of started talking to spirit in a different way. Being able to see a message daily. Like when you pull cards and you see the same message day after day, and maybe it's something like speak your truth, and maybe you need to like listen to that. When you start to see something like that show up, like somebody's trying to tell me something. So I think I kind of did that for a while. I have moved all over the place. My career is in, um, I work for the federal government. I do GIS mapping. I'm like a computer mapping nerd. But I love natural resources and all of that. And so I have moved around for my job. One of the places I ended up living was Albuquerque. And Albuquerque is kind of really where I opened up my modalities. Right? I kind of sampled a bunch of different things while I was there. to figure out really what resonated with me and what didn't resonate with me. And so my belief system is not one belief system, but a sampling of all these belief systems that I have kind of accumulated over time that resonate with me. Then, and that's actually where I found my mentor, my shaman mentor. And I worked with her through the Four Directions course, which is workshops, which is where you kind of officially become a shaman, and then through the advanced courses and through my own work. And that's really where I found who I am and what I want to do. And that was actually a while ago. Now is what I feel like I'm just now coming into who I am as a shaman and what does that look like out in the real world. I've been practicing on myself and friends for a very long time, but now I'm ready to kind of offer that to other people.
That's very exciting. It's very exciting to be able to go from being someone who is not quite ready or not quite confident about their unusual skills to come out and say, I'm ready, I'm good. And so, congratulations on that. I have a question to ask you about Albuquerque. I heard
Mhm.
about humming that comes from the mountains. You ever hear that?
Ooh, I feel like I have heard of that. I have not heard humming, but I could see that. Albuquerque is such an interesting place. Like there are so many different things that could happen there. Again, that is where I found out most of my modalities. So
You have a very particular and honorable name in front of your name, and it's the word shaman. Now, two things. Can you explain what a shaman is and how you work towards getting that honor of having that be a part of your presentation?
sure. So a shaman to me is a practitioner who practices energy work. So I work a lot with your energy. I also listen to my spirit guides to bring in information. I would, if you're familiar with Reiki, I would liken it to like Reiki work in that sense. Only my learning and my background is more rooted in the Peruvian shamanism, where you have the four directions. So south, west, north, and east, and then you have above and below. And so that four directions course is going through the four directions and working on what those directions mean. So south is the snake, shedding of the past and the programming. So those kinds of lessons you do for yourself. And as you work through that process for yourself, you learn how to then you work with it on others. So you practice with other people in the class. And so you learn how to work on yourself versus also how to work on others and how to communicate that, how to ask the right questions and how to listen. And so, that was, I think it was a 8-month process for those first four directions. And then after that, the advanced classes, I think was more of like a year and a half. There was actually mentorship after that, but unfortunately, COVID got in the way of that process. So I've been doing a lot of personal improvements in those areas based on the shamanic knowledge that I have.
Now, do you do any kind of uh, distance healing at all? I'm fascinated by people who can help others, the next town, the next state, across country. Is that possible? Do you do any of that?
That's mostly what I do. I mostly do distance healing because most of the people I work on are my friends who don't live with me or people who have learned about them from my friends and family who want help. So I actually have a pretty good system for that. I can do Zoom like this, but I typically just do emails. And so I work on the person, ask if they, you know, want this, and then what good time. Sometimes I don't want to disturb them. But again, because I worked on so many people long term, I know how to work on somebody without disturbing their energy. Just sometimes when you're new at it, and you do a lot of energy work, you can affect their energy and they can get tired and then just fall asleep. So you don't want to do that if they're in the middle of the day. So just kind of learning those little things where you alter the way that I alter the way that I do the session so that it does not energetically affect them in that they get really tired afterwards because it's a lot of work.
Very cool. So here we are. You're going to be doing the Body and Soul Expo taking place on May 9th and 10th, Saturday and Sunday. So when people come to your booth, and by the way, this podcast is so cool because you get to be a bit of a rock star before you even get to the expo. If you get this out to all your people, and we'll get it out to all of our social media, people are going to get to know you. And being one of the first to do these podcasts for the new year, our May event, a lot of people are going to see this podcast. So congratulations for coming up and doing it so early in the process. When people
Thank
come
you.
to the expo, what could they expect to hear from you, see from you at your booth?
Well, one of the things that I'll probably be doing is answering a lot of questions, just because people do have a lot of questions about what shamanism is. But I also will be either offering card readings, because that's one of the things that I do in my sessions. I end it with a card reading, and or small shamanic sessions. So something that's a very quick look at your energy to see what kind of information you might need to know. Typically, I do chakras, and that does take a little bit longer. So people might be interested in that. So I'm again currently working on making my shaman session shorter and faster so that I can do something like that within like a 15-20 minute time frame, or maybe a 30-minute time frame if people have time.
Excellent, excellent. So we're very excited. We looking forward very much to having you be at the expo and doing your thing, and you'll get a chance to speak as well. Have you thought about what you might speak on?
Ooh, I haven't. There's so many things that I want to talk about. Like right now, I just finished creating a spiritual planner, and I haven't physically, like, I have the physical product because it's my own, but I haven't sold it physically. So it's like the joys of planning, but maybe that's not the right audience for that. So maybe I would just talk about how energy work can affect your physical body, because that I think is the most potent part of energy work. You could be like, well, I don't have any energy issues, but I have this pain in my side. Like, well, if you work on your energy, you might be able to resolve that pain depending on what's going on. It could be the physical manifestation of something that's going on spiritually, emotionally. You know, you're really looking into that and seeing what's going on. And so that's one of the reasons why I always use guides in my sessions, because they're the ones that like tell me things. They're like, hey, and even in conversations lately, specifically in the last several weeks, I'll just say something that is, in my mind off the wall. And the person is like, oh my gosh, like that just resonates with me. I can't believe you just said that. That totally makes sense. So whatever they're struggling with, just a one sentence statement can really bring them into, okay, now I understand what's going on. And I just love it. So I might talk about something like that too.
Excellent, excellent. This is great. I'm very happy that you're going to be part of our family now. You were accepted the first moment we met you, but now officially being a part of the Body and Soul Expo. And thanks for being on the podcast. And look forward to getting to know you better and working with you in different ways in the near future. Thanks for being on the podcast.
Thank you. This was so fun. I really enjoyed it.
I told you it would be.
It was so easy too. Made
Yes,
it
good.
so easy.
Beautiful. Well, thanks again for being with us. Bye bye, everybody. We'll see you on the next Body and Soul podcast. You'll be seeing it at least one a week now until we get to the expo, probably a lot more. Bye bye, Veronica. Bye bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.